have you seen Crystal's hair?
No! Stop it! That's how you deal with bullying.
So I just watched that documentary on Netflix about bullying, and it was very touching and really sad. It really hurt my heart. And there was one scene, it was a 10-year-old boy who, either was, I can't remember if he was 10 or 11, he was just really young. I remember that stuck in my mind. I was like, oh my god, this kid hasn't even lived a life, and he's already bullying and can't handle it. His best friend who tried to stop the bully, after the kid committed suicide, the best friend kind of like took the camera people on a tour and was like, this is our like fort, nobody knows about this. It's just really like, to me, because I'm a teacher, it hurts my heart so much to know that like little kids, it's just so sad. So that's what I'm saying, like, watch that documentary. If you are a bully or you're being bullied or you have no idea the impact of it, just watch that documentary on Netflix. It's called Bullying, and it's like, no, because bullying is bad. Just please watch that, because I think if you are the bully, you'll kind of get a wake-up call, like, at what you really are doing.
Yeah, I think it's hard because especially in school, we kind of get caught up with our own cliques. Like, hey, you know, Mandy and Crystal, I hate that girl, so you guys better hate her too, which is bullying in itself if I'm trying to make them not be friends with somebody. But of course it's natural. If you guys don't like somebody, well, then I don't either, because you're my friends. But it's important to, again, just make sure you can stand on your own 2 feet. You just have to have reasoning behind something you're doing, and make sure you're doing it because it's something you believe in. And most of the time when you bully someone who doesn't deserve it, like, you feel bad, you know it's wrong, like, you feel bad about it. At least I hope you would. And, you know, again, if you're the person being bullied, kind of like with Mandy, don't ever like try to put it on yourself like you deserve it or maybe you're doing something wrong, because in her case especially, she did nothing to anybody else and always got picked on, like, no matter where she went. And that obviously means something. Like Crystal said it earlier, but we weren't rolling the camera, but like they were trying to just dull her shine, because obviously, as you guys have probably seen from her Halloween video, and she's a character and she loves life, and people that don't love life, like, it's kind of like a weird, like, awkward thing, because they can't even understand someone being so like exuberant and totally just like comfortable with themselves. So if you're being picked on again, like, you know, it may be because you have something special, not because there's anything wrong with you.
You experienced it at a really young age, which is really sad to me. But you, like you said in your earlier, you just dusted off, and that's amazing that you could do that and not come out of her character. She didn't come out of her character. I think that was, she still was loved. Mandy was always still, honestly, I had no idea she went through that many trials and tribulations.
There was more, but there wasn't enough camera time.
I have known Mandy since 2nd grade, since elementary school, and we weren't close until 7th grade, but, you know, 5 years before that, since 2nd grade. Honestly, like, if I tell you, she was the nicest person to everybody. I mean, didn't matter, like, cliques at all. Like, that's what it was. So, again, that's just, like, the point to say that, like, you know, if you're really nice, sometimes people will pick on you, but you just gotta stay focused.
But can I say, like, that's the reason, like, my mom will always, and I think that's why I was, like, I did grow up on Barney and, like, all that stuff, like, Care Bears, like, and yeah, it was really naive of me, but I still have that naive heart, and it's, like, my mom instilled, like, treat others how you want to be treated. And, like I said, I think you will, like, not say be popular, but you're going to gain so much more respect if you're like, you know what, I'm not down for that, or, dude, that's not cool, or I don't talk about people, like, no comment. Like, you're gonna, those people are gonna shrink when they hear you say those things next to you. They're gonna be like, oh, you know, like.
No, I have one experience that I had. I forgot to tell you guys. I guess it's kind of like bullying, but what was funny about it, I was in Spanish class, and girls were talking about me, but they didn't know that I was in the class for some reason.
They probably knew.
I know. They really had no idea, because I just hear them talk. They were like, oh, did you hear Crystal Castillo? And I remember being like, these fools really don't know that I'm in this class. And they said their little mess, so I'm not going to say what it was. And I just kind of looked at them, and they looked at me, and they were just like, oh. Yeah. So it was like really awkward. But like what you said, they're just going to feel like, oh my gosh. Because that was kind of like gossip, you know, is a form of bullying. But when they're caught in the act, they're like, oh shoot,
Yeah, shut up.
And if you don't gossip about other people, there's no way that can circle back to you, and you're like, oh, well, you said this, and it's like, oh, but I did, but, you know, like, stop, like, enough, done. Girls, have self-respect, be confident in who you are, and don't tear each other apart. Who cares if she did this with your boyfriend? I had all that. Trying to get with my boyfriend, getting with my boyfriend. Oh, people do that? How? What? Yeah, and you can't feed into it. I should have dumped the guy. Should have done that a long time ago. And, you know, he was a bully to me too. And I know Brittany had a bully boyfriend. And it's like, you know, you just gotta, done, you know, so.
Anybody who puts you down or belittles you or makes you feel like unimportant or just
Stupid.
just dumb and not good and
Not pretty.
you're crying and it's just drama. Really, there's no need for it. And if you have your own like things that you do, whether it's dance or sports or writing or doing your schoolwork, which is very important. I don't know, it wasn't really stuff we were interested in back then, but it's if you just get lost in that, that'll take you through and you will graduate before you know it and you'll be done. We all moved to LA as soon as we graduated high school, as soon as we graduated. So it's just, you
With
just
what,
gotta
like
get out.
$1,000?
No, I think
Yeah.
I saved $1,000 that month and we moved. Oh, the internet is like one of the biggest places where bullying happens. Especially, you know, you can do it behind a keyboard. So people are really brave and say the meanest things because there's no one really there to kind of put shame on them or make them feel bad. Like they could say whatever they want, push enter and then never think about it again. It gets lost into this like cyberspace. And
For those who are doing that and you just do it on the internet, you need to be aware now that for your future. I always tell my students this. I'm like, whatever you post on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, now they have just departments now where if you're going to get hired after you finish college and you want to get hired somewhere at an amazing company, they now have departments who actually research your social media, what you've been posting, because you're going to represent that company. And if you have that stuff, like even from the past, they're going to see like, psychologically, I don't know if we want this type of person to represent our company. So if you're doing that, I'm just saying, real talk, watch out, because it may haunt you in the future. So I don't know if it's a good idea to do that kind of stuff.
It's not a good idea. And two, yeah, like my advice, because I was bullied, like a little cyber, like Facebook hadn't come out yet, but MySpace and AOL,
MySpace.
and text messaging too, even as an adult, like, you know, there's people that will bully you and make threats and constantly write really just mean things. And I've learned, because sometimes I would write back like, hey, like, listen, like how you did, and it doesn't work. It feeds the drama. And they love it. Like, they feed off of it. And you can't even, like, understand their mindset. But, so my advice is just, like I said before, don't engage. Delete the comment if it's on your wall. Delete it. Report it as spam if you want. If it's a text message, just delete it. And if you want to take a picture and have it as a file, like, and you want to make those decisions, like, I've gotten something like that before. You're like, this is threats. This is crazy. So I'm going to save this if I ever need it. But don't talk about it at school. You know, just like I said, if you don't engage, they'll have nothing to work with and it'll stop. I know on that, like on Facebook, you don't have to be friends with them so they don't write posts. If anyone ever does that, delete them as a friend, report them as spam, never talk about it again. Don't write on your statuses like, oh my gosh, this and this and this. Like, don't try to put your drama on Facebook because it feeds the drama. I know it seems like you're like sticking up for yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, all these people are doing this and tearing me down. If you just, like I said, just don't engage, don't even talk about it. Maybe talk about how, like, a great thing that happened to you that day or how lucky and blessed you are. That's what you're going to bring forth to you, and that's what you're gonna go, like, in that direction, and they will just, like, fall to the side.
And I think what Mandy's trying to explain is that's the greatest weapon against them, is just to not do anything. Don't give in to whatever they're trying do to make you break. They're trying to break you down. And though there is one scene, I know you still haven't seen it, but there's one actor in it that I cannot believe he took that role. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
you have to go watch it.
It's very
Brittany, you don't even know. It's hilarious.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
Oh, we're going.
This is cool. Amy just called me a slut on Facebook. That's awesome.
Let me see that.
What is her deal?
I don't know.
Delete and block. Problem solved.
Yes, it is.
Yep, let's go watch the movie.
Yeah.